Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. I really appreciate all of you for waiting patiently. Let's talk about what is happening right now. The proposed strike by Labour, TUC, you just name it, due to hike in electricity tariff and, of course, petrol pump price. Is it going to have any impact? Will they change the price? Will they change the narrative? It's going to affect Nigerians because people are looking up to Labour. They are looking up to Labour to see the next line of action, to see if the government of the day will rescind in its decision to increase fuel pump price or the tariff in electricity. With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a Labour devotee and, of course, a legal practitioner. Join me to welcome Barrister Robinson Imade. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition, sir.
Good morning, Wilson. Thank you for having me.
3 months or how many months now?
Maybe 20 months.
Welcome back. It's good
Thank
to
you
have
very
you
much.
back.
Good morning, viewer.
All right. And sitting very close to him is a very vibrant youth, an entrepreneur, a political analyst. Join me to welcome Samuel Ehigiato, aka Aras. Welcome to TMI.
Good morning, Wilson. Good morning, viewers.
Okay. And now someone asked specifically for Prophet Jordan Iwella. Yeah, a clergyman and of course a prophet of God. But you know, I have to be like, hey, pastor, prophet, stop now. Let's do what we are here to do on air before the spirit takes over. Welcome, Prophet Jordan Iwella. Appreciate your coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. All right, I'd like to start off from Barrister Robinson Imade. Says he is in the forefront in Labour, though in the aspect of agric, and of course a legal practitioner. What do you feel about this upsurge? People are saying this is upsurge because it's like more than 50% increment in two major things that Nigerians rely on.
Well, what we are seeing today is not strange to many of us. We saw it coming. We knew it was going to be like this. We told the people, but people didn't listen. Looking at the antecedent of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, nothing that he would do will surprise me. Here is a man who, just before he became president, led the people to protest against a fuel hike. He personally said that it was either 165 naira per liter or revolution. Here is the man whose party campaigned saying that any government that could not fix electricity in Nigeria within 6 months is unserious. He also said that the people must be put first. And today we have witnessed not one, not two fuel price increase under the leadership of the same man. We are looking at electricity that has been increased once, twice, or even 3 times in his tenure. The same man who said he was going to make light available to Nigerians. And today, you have just said that people are looking up to Labour. What will Labour do? We have a government, in my opinion, that does not listen. A government that will do what it likes, even under a democracy. Under the previous administration, before things like this will happen, there will be sensitization, there will be what they call ombudsman. People will be told what's going to happen. And the likes of Pastor Tunde Bakare, Professor Wole Soyinka, our own present president, will take to the street and carry people in collectivity to say no. But today, where are those leaders of protest? Are we still occupying Nigeria? What can the NSA and the TUC do under a leadership where people, octogenarians and septuagenarians are afraid? What have we been able to do about the bill that will enable people to speak the way they like? Is democracy not supposed to be for the people, by the people, and of the people? But today, can we say we are under a democracy? I'm happy I have exited the labor movement as an activist. Otherwise, this would have been a time for me to resign. I can assure you, Wilson, that the proposed strike will come and go, but that the fuel price will not be reduced.
Okay.
If I understand this government the way it is. Right. It will not be reduced. I'm also thinking that before the exit of this administration, it will be increased again.
All right.
What we need is for Nigerians to come out collectively to say no to this autocracy that we color as democracy.
All right, I will come back to you. Now, he talked about before this administration, the person in power was like even involved also when we talk about a protest when the price of fuel pump price was increased, and he's not really happy about it.
Was going to be increased.
Okay, was going to be increased. Samuel, do you have a contrary view to his opinions? He gave so many reasons why nothing may just change.
Wilson is my great leader. I respect him so much. But I have a total different opinion on what he said. I believe every one of us live in this country, and we know what was happening in this country during the past government before Buhari came to power. We know how we are buying a liter of oil for 500 naira. Even with having the 500 naira, you cannot even get the goods. You cannot even get the fuel. We know how queues we are on for ordinary kerosene. We know how queues we are for diesels and fuel. Sometimes we have to even buy black markets. We know how these things were in the past regime, in the predecessor regime. Can we just deceive ourselves and say we don't know what was happening as at then? When people were selling fuel along the streets with jerry cans, since the incoming of Buhari, President Buhari, we have never seen one single queue because of fuel. We have never seen one single queue because of kerosene. We have never seen one single queue because of diesel. The only thing we can complain about, the regulations. And why is it like that? Is it the president that regulates the fuel price? No. There's a body and there's an institution that implement prices, whether to go up or to go down. We also saw it recently when the COVID-19 came. The president also instructed them to regulate the price. The price was brought down. For the first time in Nigeria, that's something we always notice. Before the incoming of President Buhari, whenever anything is increasing, it is always up, 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 up. There has never been a time that the president of a government increased fuel price and brought it down again. It has never happened. It is the first time I'm experiencing it in Nigeria that it was regulated down due to the situation of the country. And as of now, if the regulatory body also see it necessary to increase it with how much? Not even up to 20 naira. And then we are crying, we are shouting, but we can be able to get the fuel to buy. There was a professor that was interviewed recently. He said, as long he can go to the filling station and get the fuel for himself, he will not comply with the regulatory procedure. But because what he experienced in the past, buying fuel from black market, adulterated fuels, he said he don't want to go back there again. That is what I believe. Because what my leader is trying to tell me, that before fuel was increased in the past government, that it is being announced, is a lie. I'm sorry, sir. It comes to hit us brim with protest. No, but the next thing we see is protest.
He never said in the past government.
He said the past government always let us know before the price is being increased.
Administration, we were not informed before.
The regulatory body is the one that does the job. Okay. That is why they are there, sir.
All right.
We cannot all do it, sir.
Okay. All right.
The president cannot do it. The governor cannot do it. There's a regulatory body that sees it. Is it necessary, deemed necessary to increase or not to increase? If deemed necessary, good, like the Labour Party you were talking about. I believe what they are going to do is to make some little noise so that people should believe they are there.
Okay.
They understand what is happening.
Okay.
Because the regulatory body, as it is known, there are certain institutions they inform as well, which I believe they are part of the institutions.
All right. I will come back to
so you. Cannot deny knowledge.
Okay. All right.
The people can deny knowledge, but not the bodies.
You are saying that it's not on the shoulders or the fault of the president who will have regulators of these markets.
That is why the institutions are there.
I'll come back to you.
That's why they're there.
Prophet Jordan Iwella, what do you think about this? You have two contrasting opinions on this issue. One is not for it, while the other is giving the reason why the situation is what it is on the ground right now. Take it up from there.
Thank you very much. It is unfortunate that we politicize everything. If you belong to any party, you can begin to defend anything that comes from that party. Very, very unfortunate. We are all Nigerians. We all have rights in this country. And we all know what is right to do. Unfortunately, we are politicizing everything. The fuel issue, remember that fuel is the heart of the economy. And the fuel, given its sensitivity in the economy, should not be tampered anyhow. We remember what happened in the past, other regimes. Every price of all the prices of commodities were very low, given the considerate price of fuel then. The increase of fuel now is now escalating the price of every commodity, and we are not enjoying it. Therefore, the protest that is about to come has already been predestined. On the 20th of April 2015, I called the press and I was addressing the press on what is going to happen in President Buharis' regime. I mentioned to them that I saw him becoming sick. I'm coming, it came to pass. I told them there's going to be protest, stronger than South African apartheid protest. It is coming. And while the protest is on, I saw the president not be moved. After protest, people should go to hell. That was what I saw.
No, hold on. Don't use that word, go to hell, please, because you're on air.
Okay, sorry.
You're on air, please.
He was not moved by the whole protest. He insisted on what he was doing in the spirit. And that is what we are experiencing now. No protest moves him. And the governance is all about the people. If the people you are ruling are complaining, you should feel for them. In the Western world, what they normally do is to resign. People are protesting. People are not happy with my government. But here in Africa, we don't resign.
Okay.
We sit on tight and keep on going.
I'll come back to you, Prophet, because right now you're going to the prophetics right now, but want to talk about issues that are on the ground. I'm not against the prophetics. You said you saw something and it happened. Nobody's doubting that. All right. Now about the protest and President not being moved, we've not seen that happen yet. But we pray it will not get to that. We pray it will get to that. Now let me come to you, Barrister Robinson Imade. From what Ara said, he said, when you take a look at this administration, you've not had issues of fuel scarcity to the extent that you go to the black market to buy a liter of fuel for up to 500, 600 naira. That this time around, despite the regulation being done by this body, that things are like taking shape. What do you feel about that?
All right. You remember he said that the increase has nothing to do with the president, that there's a regulatory body that carries out the increase. At the same time, he said that because of COVID-19, the president instructed the body to bring down the price.
I said
he also
was advised.
Please.
Hold on.
Okay, the president advised the regulatory body to bring down the price.
Yes.
If a man can advise the body to do a thing that is positive, that is negative, can he not also do the same for whatever, positive or negative? It means that we are seeing the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. Is that the way it says, sir? All right. Again, we have a president that inherited a pump price of 87 naira per liter.
Yes.
And today it is 165 naira. The same man said that if anybody says he was subsidizing petroleum products before he came on board, that it was a scam. You know how much the money that is being spent today, according to the same man who said subsidy was a scam, is more than double, if not triple, what was used in the past. Again, why would there be scarcity if what was 87 naira has become 161 naira? The subsidy that was to be gradually removed, he has removed by force. And so we don't expect scarcity. Look at the electricity. The same man made how much per unit? Let's go back to the petroleum product because of the way he's smiling. This same president promised us during the electionary campaign that he was going to build one refinery a year. Has he refurbished even one? What has he done? Only to be removing subsidy so that the fuel will be available. Whether or not the people are sinking is not his business. As for the electricity, his party said will be fixed within 6 months if the government was to be taken seriously. Otherwise, Nigerians should throw stones at them. We know what we are paying now. Nobody is able to do any business meaningfully without electricity tariff taking the chunk of the profit, and businesses are closing down. We're in a regime of, with due respect, insincerity. Throw stones at us if we do not fix electricity in 6 months. 5, 6 years down the line, we are worse off. Whoever says he's subsidizing petroleum products is a scam. We are seeing more subsidy than ever. I don't know how we reason. Like the prophet said, we politicize everything. We are under a cloak today. The reason is, like he said, a man that who talked about agriculture, made a bag of imported rice at 8,500. The same bag is selling at 30-something thousand naira now. Even the locally produced rice is selling for over 20,000 naira. The minimum wage dragged on for years. When it came, it was, are we aware, sir, that even VAT has been increased over and over again by over 50, getting to 100% now under this regime? So are we saying that only the politicians that have job pay should be Nigerians or should live in Nigeria? Okay. We have a government that is absolutely insincere and absolutely inconsiderate as far as the masses are concerned.
All right, now he said the government that we have, according to his own statement, from what he has seen, from what they've said beforehand, is sincere and inconsiderate.
Mr. Wilson, that is his own opinion. Yeah. Because I know everybody has his own way of viewing a government. My perspective of viewing the government might be very different from the perspective of my leader viewing the government, based on his own belief and ideology. But I personally, if I decide to view this government of President Muhammad Buhari, of the APC, as far as I am concerned, it is not always the negative aspect we should look at, because we are too conscious of the negative aspect. We should also be conscious of the positive aspect. We have saw what he's doing on the railways. We have saw what he's doing on infrastructural development. We have seen what he have done on the agriculture, which is even talking about that we even have Nigeria rice, not even no more than irrespective. How much? But the problem we have in Nigeria, I will still repeat it again. Listen, I said it before. I said we are the problem of Nigeria. Do you know why we are the problem of Nigeria? If I can produce a rice for as low as 6,650, why can't I sell it for 10,000, 11,000 naira? Why must I make it more expensive? Why must I hike the price for my people? Just like this present situation, what happened now recently, a fuel hike of not up to 20 naira. The people increased the rice bags with over 3, 4, 5,000 naira per bag. Sir, how much are you transporting that bag from the north or from those states down to Benin? You increase one bag with 3,000 naira. Let us be serious. Let us be sincere. For 20 naira increasement, and you are going to pay for the same amount of money to carry the 100 bag down to Benin. Then you increase with 3,000 naira. Just you hear say, fuel don't go up. Brr.
So you're blaming the people right now.
I'm telling you, the people is also part of the problem of Nigeria. Oh, I'm telling you, look at the fuel pump issue too. The government will say once responsible for that attitude. I believe the problem of Nigeria must start with Nigerians to change our attitude, to change our mentality, not only to see everything negative, but to also to encourage the positive aspect and to see how we can move this country Like my leader was saying, he prophesies. Yes, those things you prophesied might election. We all know that he lost. That the President Buharis is not the president of Nigeria. So please, right now, I don't want it to be going more to that prophecy, because those prophecies, it is a presumption. I can also prophesy and see something when I sleep and dream.
All right, so
because I might be insulted by God too. But let us leave that aspect. The basic point I want us to know: are we the problem of Nigeria, or the government alone is the problem of Nigeria?
Okay.
We see that we too are also problems.
I'll come back to
and what I said before too, I go back to it.
Okay.
Concern my leader. I want to ask my leader. I want to stop.
Thank you. Now let me come to Prophet Jordan Iwella. They've spoken at length. We still have this issue right now on the ground, labor. When President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan wanted to increase the price of fuel, it was met by stiff resistance. And here we are. From what Barrister Robinson Emmanuel talked about, he said, look, from what he's seen, had it been that he was still in the labor force, he would have resigned. Because whether you protest or not, nothing will change. Now, do you still expect labor to go into that protest, the proposed strike? Because it's a form of protest also.
Yes. Obviously, labor must do their work. But the issue remains, with the government listening? With the government listening? And I want to believe that the government will not listen. Like I said earlier, I mentioned it in 2015. And in 2016 too, I repeated it. I saw hardship continue in 2019 if the government is to come back again. And we're at it now. The protest will come, but I am afraid let it not degenerate into crisis that we cannot control. I saw it coming. So the protest is the normal thing. And like I said earlier, if it were to be in the Western world, when people protest so much, the man concerned will resign. But in Africa, we don't resign. I pray that they will go into the protest, and God will help them. Let there be no crisis coming out of it, because I'm perceiving crisis already. I prophesied them already written down.
All right. We are saying no. We are saying no to crisis.
You know,
maybe that's what someone is like.
Yeah, we don't need those crises.
Okay. You're saying things can be done to prevent the crisis.
That is what.
Okay.
Just like
we don't need crisis.
Just like
with this hardship already.
In 2000,
crisis condition.
I published
Definitely.
on the newspaper. I saw Islamic jihadists invading Nigeria, and American military government is just giving the television report now that they saw ISIS and Al-Qaeda coming. I said, already I'm on ground, guiding them. Before Boko Haram started, I prophesied it, and God gave me the solution, which I'll be publishing.
Okay, so, I think right now we should focus on solution. Okay, all right.
Even the parties you're talking about now, because we are air, I would have extracted more about the outcome of it.
All right.
But at the end of it, the government, I know, will remain sensitive to it. There will be no change.
Okay, well, from what we were told by the presidency, it's with pains that they made this increment. They considered so many things, but it's like their hands are tied from what they said. That is the reason why they have to we have to remove subsidy.
Let me say this, which is sorry.
Yes.
Like my brother said earlier, you cannot make increase, either by anybody or institution without the president being aware. It is not done.
That's not aware.
No way. He is at the head.
It's not the
you cannot jeopardize his government in his absence. He must be in the know.
Okay.
Therefore, the economy is like a mechanism. Any part of it that is faulty affects every other system. Therefore, the fuel itself, the moment it's affected, everything like what he was saying, you don't blame any motorist conveying a bag of rice for 3,000 or 10,000 because there is increase in fuel. Before you increase, you consider all this.
Because 20 naira.
What is 20 naira? Do you know what it means in the economy? It means, I'm an economist. Okay. It means a lot.
Same with me.
Therefore, the fuel should be the engine room for the economy. If fuel is maybe 15 naira, 11 naira, every other thing will be very cheap, including foodstuffs coming from the villages, coming from everywhere. As simple as that. Therefore, the fuel issue is not a small issue. It's not. We should not politicize it. The moment we get it right on fuel, every other prices comes down considerably for the people to enjoy. People are suffering in acute hardship in Nigeria.
Okay.
And if you look at it very well, it is coming out of mismanagement of fuel regulation.
Okay, I will come back to you, Prophet. Now, some of the people that way back when Labour was Labour, when TUC was TUC, you just name it. Whenever they said, look, this thing cannot hold, really, the administration will start shaking. There'll be amends here and there. Due to the fact that right now, it's like some people are now referring to Labour as toothless bulldog. Some of the people know that Labour is even the problem we are having in our country. What are your views on this perception about Labour by some Nigerians?
Well, you said when Labour was Labour.
Yes, according to some
Nigerians. When Labour sneezes, the government will converse.
Cold, yes.
That's when there was a government. That was when because I'm saying that was when there was a government. That was when there was an administration.
Don't forget what we have now of Abacha. When Labour stands still, even the military regime, they catch cold.
You are right. But today, there was an Abacha. There was a military regime. There was an Obasanjo. There was a civilian regime. Would you say we have a regime today?
Of course, we have a regime.
Oh, you have a regime. That's no problem.
You cannot deny the fact.
A regime that said, while trying to muzzle itself to power, that look, in the presidential fleet, we have 7 aircrafts. What will I do with them? I will even fly economic class. I will bring them and add to them to resuscitate Nigerian Airways. How many aircrafts do we have now staying there? For the children to go take photographs and the likes. A regime that said, look, we are going to ensure that 1 naira is equal to $1. When dollar was 200 naira.
But can't you
and today, excuse me, sir. Political statements, okay, it means that if you take campaigns as political statements that should not be relied upon, it means the government cannot be relied upon. Because a campaign or electionary campaign is to tell the people what you will do. What is the naira to the dollar today? If you don't know, the naira is the worst currency in Africa as of today. A man who inherited the best economy in Africa, a man who inherited the 2nd most thriving economy in the world, and today Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. I'm glad that my brother here said that it is not only the government that is the problem, that Nigerians, we are also the problem. It's an admission of the fact that the government is a problem.
Your own opinion.
I said his own is an admission of the fact that the government is a problem, maybe not the problem. And a government that is a problem, is that what you want to compare with sane administration?
Many people will not agree with you when you say that the government is a problem.
He said
no. I never said so, sir.
He said his government.
I never said so.
I said only the government.
I said you people, everybody like to shout on the government or the government.
Excuse me. And the Nigerians are also part of the problem. It's an admission of the fact that we have a government that is a problem, maybe not the problem.
Many so when we talk that statement,
I don't want to.
All right, continue.
When we talk about Labour being a toothless bulldog today, what would you say of Tunde Bakare? What would you say of Professor Wole Soyinka, a Nobel laureate winner? What would you say of the big pastors and imams that we have that came out to protest fuel hike? How many times have they even said a word? Apart from Obasanjo, who else is talking today? Obasanjo just said recently, I think this very last week, that Nigeria is becoming a failed state. And that's an understatement. In my opinion, Nigeria is already a failed state.
Hold on, this is in my own opinion. Even if it's your own opinion, Nigeria is not a failed state. Okay,
Obasanjo said that Nigeria is becoming a failed state. I hope you heard it.
Okay, yeah.
So what we are talking about is a situation where nobody, no group makes impact because the ears of this government are blocked. They won't listen and they won't act. They do only what they want to do. Talking about agriculture, excuse me, talking about agriculture.
I'll come back to that now. You just hold on. I want you to put your emotions in check right now because like your emotions is like swelling.
Thank you.
I do understand. The ears of the government, the ear is not blocked. It's not blocked. It's speaking out of
How come they are not hearing us? How come they don't hear what we say?
Okay, Barrister, you just hold on right now. Please watch your emotions. I know you're speaking from the way Nigerians are feeling, but the word coloration should...
I'm happy you know that's the way Nigerians are feeling.
Taking into cognizance. So,
thank you.
Over to you, Ari. So you have a lot to react to his comment. He talked about the government being insensitive, that their ears are blocked. Though I just saying that, yeah, that they are listening. And also he talked about Labour being toothless bulldog. He said we shouldn't blame Labour, so to speak. It should be the government that is not responding to Labour. Take it up from there.
Or anybody else.
Oh, listen, one thing about me, let me correct one impression my leader just gave just now. I made a statement, and that statement I will repeat again. I said we all are blaming the government and blaming the government. But we should not forget that we, the people, are also a problem to the situation. It does not mean the government is a problem. Does not mean the government, I said the government is a problem.
That's what it means.
Sir, no, it does not, that's not what it means, sir. I'm an educated, I am well educated too.
Thank you, sir.
I understand my languages, and I control my languages.
But
too.
don't forget that in law also they can twist the language.
Yeah, that's what
Nigerians are also a problem.
That's what my barrister is trying to twist my language. So, sir,
we are not in court now. We are not in
my records.
Okay, sir.
We are not in court, please.
So let me go to the point.
All right.
And my leader also said that this government is insensitive or this.
No, they don't listen, yeah.
They don't listen. I don't believe that too.
Oh.
There are issues, yes. This government met a country that was already bankrupt financially and otherwise. Sir, I will tell you, I have statistics. No, let's look at statistics, not what the PDP were saying with their mouth, or the Jonathan government were saying with their mouth. No, sir, the statistic left behind by the President Jonathan government, our external reserve and internal reserve, let me correct you there, was $9 billion.
All right.
$9 billion. What the internal reserve was about $12 billion.
Okay.
But as at present, in the present government, we have about $24 billion as external reserve. Internal reserve about $39 billion.
How much are we owing?
So, sir, please let correct some point. Let correct some points about the government issue.
You continue with your train of thought.
Those statistics.
Those
are statistics.
I know. Want to take a short break, but before that, let's get to hear Prophet Jordan Iwella's last word on this, because another gets into coming to really balance up this, because he needs to go to church right now. So what do you feel is the solution before the conclusion of the deliberation to this problem? According to so many Nigerians, they're saying this is a problem, but Ara says it's not only the presidency, it's not only the government, but Nigerians are part of it. What should be done? Briefly.
The government has it all to do. The people are on the receiving end. The government should consider the people, that the people are in serious hardship that needs to be taken care of. If they are in government houses, they should listen to what the people are saying. There is no justification behind the increase in fuel again, because the people they are already in coma, in hardship.
Thank you. Thank you. The people are not in coma, please. They won't kill all of us.
We reject coma, sir.
We reject coma.
Look at what happened with the coronavirus. Many nations were giving palliatives to their people. We didn't get anyone. My friend in Italy, they were giving them money, what, about 380,000 a month.
President.
Give them another,
yes. Even now.
Another financial card to buy foodstuffs.
Right.
Yeah, nobody gave to us.
All right.
Still, we are oil nation.
Thank you, Prophet.
Suffering in the midst of abundance.
Thank you, Prophet.
Isn't that unfortunate?
Thank you, Prophet. Thank you, Prophet. Right now, he needs to jet out to church. Obarayos Saho is waiting. I will need to really get to hear from him. He's going to share the same views and opinion with my panelists in the studio. The topic is still very much on the effect of the proposed, action by Labour on the fuel pump price. We'll be right back after this break.